Well known as a political activist in his home country, Miguel Portas co-founded the Left platform in 1989 after many years fighting the fascist dictatorship, starting when he was just 15 years old. In the 1990s, he created Política 21, one of the parties that would form the basis of the Bloco de Esquerda, which he founded in 1999 and led thereafter. He was a professional journalist, economist and man of letters, and he wrote prolifically and worked as an editor for a number of Portuguese journals. Miguel Portas was elected to the European Parliament on the Bloco list in 2004, joining the European United Left Nordic Green Left group. He was subsequently re-elected in 2009. He worked with great enthusiasm and diligence on the committees to which he was nominated, namely the Budget Committee, the Economic and Monetary Affairs Committee, as well as two special committees. His passion for issues relating to the Middle East led him to travel often to these countries and meant he was an attentive politician and insightful analyst on the conflicts in this region. A warm-hearted man, Miguel always had a bright smile and a kind word for his friends, colleagues and comrades from all sides of the political spectrum, both within and outside this house. His compassionate nature, his hard work and his quest for social justice and democracy were widely recognised and appreciated, not just here in the European Parliament, but right across the continent and far beyond. His courage and his combat against his illness for the past 2 years aroused our admiration. He continued to work right up until the very last minute. Miguel would have celebrated his 54th birthday on the 1st of May. To be born on the 1st of May and to die on the eve of Portuguese Freedom Day is highly symbolic for a leftist. We will all miss Miguel greatly.
Good morning to everyone. First of all, I want to thank you all for being here. On behalf of our parliamentary group, it's quite important that we can make this tribute to Miguel Portas. I want to start to thank several people and colleagues and those who are here, all of you, from so many different groups, with so many different positions here in the Parliament, from outside the Parliament institution, from other institutions. We have representatives from different institutions, like the official representative of the Minister of Foreign Affairs from Lebanon. You know how Miguel loves the Middle East, so it's a great pleasure to have here Rodolfo Alcaré. We have representatives from some embassies, we have representatives from the Portuguese government. So I want to thank you all for being here, for coming, for joining us in this moment. And I want to thank mainly all the messages we have received, and I would like to say to you that I'm so sorry, but we were not able to reply. It's impossible, so please feel this message as an answer to all the messages that we have received. In the messages we have received, I would say that there were two main lines. The first saying that we will miss Miguel. We couldn't share more that thought, yes, we will miss Miguel a lot. And the second line was that we need to move on. And we cannot share more as well, that second line, we will move on and we will continue. It will not be the same, it will be different of course, but it will be the same fight. And that's for sure something I want to tell you. I, at this moment, have to confess you that I don't find any more the words to talk about Miguel. Because all the words I can use, they seem that they have already lost the meaning because they have been used several times. And when words are too much used, sometimes they lose their meaning. And I don't want to use words without meaning to make this tribute, to pay this tribute to Miguel. Saying this, I want just to refer to two things. First, we all know, and some of us better than the others, that Miguel was a man full of dreams, who made us dreams so much in so many different ways. He was a man of friendship. He was a man of friendship of his colleagues, of his friends, of course, that's the normal thing, of everyone who worked with him, and of everyone who worked in different places. He was very polite and always kind with everyone, and the other side was the same. So we had, for instance, a lot of messages from interpreters, workers of the European Parliament, and I think that's the image of what Miguel was. And I want to thank a lot to all these people because they were also friends of Miguel. He was able to build bridges, although some of you might think it is not possible because of budget discussions and debates, the budgetary debates, but Miguel was a man of bridges. And in Portugal, everyone knows him by that, by his ability to build bridges amongst so many different people from so many different fields. And that's something we learned with him. That's part of the good things he did for us, and that's something we'll try to continue. And Miguel was also funny, and he used to say that we are not the dreamers. We from the left, we are not the dreamers. We are the realistic ones. I have to say that I tend to agree, although I know that Miguel was a realistic person with dreams, which are quite different things. Finally, I am here on behalf of RUE and GL Group. We are here trying to pay our modest tribute to one of our best. And yes, following the letters we have received, we will miss him a lot, and yes, we will move on. Some people can't simply be replaced. And I don't believe in the word that everyone is replaceable. That's the case of Miguel. He can't be replaced, but we are here, and we will be here, and we'll try to honor his memory and the things that we learned with him. Thank you very much for being here, and please forgive me if I forgot someone. That's something I learned also with Miguel, to forget some things, because, you know, he tends to forget a lot of things, but he never forgot the most important things in life, which was the fight, the friendship, and mainly the smile. So thank you very much for being here.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, dear colleagues and friends of the European Parliament. Thank you very much, colleague Matias, for your words. This is a moment of sadness. It is always a difficult moment for all of us. A moment of farewell to a colleague who was so high appreciated and who was a friend of most of those who are here and most of those who are absent, most of the members of the European Parliament. It was an exceptional moment of silence yesterday in the chamber, in the plenary of the European Parliament, when I had the honor to remember, in presence of more or less all the members of the European Parliament, in the plenary session yesterday, I think everybody present could feel that this was not by politeness, this was a feeling by deep conviction that this is an enormous loss for the European Parliament, that Miguel is no longer amongst us as a colleague, friend, and as an important contributor to the success of the European Parliament. His brother Paulo is here. who is the Foreign Affairs Minister of Portugal, belonging to a complete other party. His two sons are here, Frederico and André, and this is for sure for you too the most difficult moment. To be here, the place where your father was admired, highly appreciated, and to be here now as young man and as boy, to assist to a ceremony honoring the success of the old father who died. This is a difficult moment. And please believe us, we feel with you, we all, and we are grateful that you are here. This is a moment of sadness, but there is an element, whenever we discuss about death, we should think for those who left us, like Miguel, the life is finished. This is our feeling of sadness. But for us, the life will continue. The death is an element of our life, very difficult for those like the sons or the brother who survive, who must continue without Miguel, in this case. We continue without him, and therefore you allow to me the question, how to continue, how to go ahead. And look to him. This was a man who was capable to ironize about himself, to make jokes about himself. And I asked in the morning when I thought about what I should address to you, I thought, what would he give us as advice? That tears are necessary, but on a long run they solve no single problem. So cry, but continue. Remember me, don't forget me, but think about my message. And what was the message of Miguel? Respect, tolerance. Minister, without respect and tolerance, a communist can't accept a right-wing foreign affairs minister in his family. And you confirmed when we met that this tolerance was a mutual one. What a wonderful thing that a senior leader of the communist movement of Portugal could say about himself, as you said, the conservative foreign affairs minister of my country, my brother, is in the same time my best friend. This is a wonderful message, I think, he gave to us and you give to us. Respect, tolerance, to accept the opinion of the others. Not only to accept them, to take them as a friend, to go even beside divergences in political life and opinions, to take the other one in the full human respect he deserves or she deserves. This is a message of Miguel. And peace for the Middle East is another message of Miguel. Don't forget me and my commitment about peace in the Middle East. Without peace in the Middle East, no peace in the Mediterranean, no stability, neither in Europe, neither in the Arab world, not in the world as a whole. And the third message is, we are rich. This is one of the richest parts of the world. But we must share. Internally on our continent, we must share and distribute the rich better than it is distributed today. And we must share as Europeans with other parts of the world. Because we are so rich. This is the other message. So my proposal for today is, we must accept that we have the right to be sad, but we have also duties. The duty is to be with those who were the nearest to him, the sons his brother, the family. And once more, we feel with you, and you are ours. You belong to us. And the other message is, don't forget about me. We will never, the European Parliament will forget such a man. But I think the duty is to continue in the spirit of Miguel Portas. Thank you very much.
Monsieur le Président, Monsieur le Ministre, André, Frederico, chers amis, Miguel Portas était membre de la Commission des budgets. Marisa et le président Schulz ont rappelé tout ce qui nous attachait à lui. Regardons son image. Est-ce que c'est le portrait d'un homme politique? Si on montre cette image à quelqu'un qui ne le connaît pas. Son œil, il y a de la générosité, et il y a de la gaieté, il y a de la malice, il y a de l'humour. Oui, c'est l'image de l'homme politique. L'image de l'homme politique que nous aimerions être, que nous ne sommes pas sûrs d'être, que nous ne sommes pas sûrs, nous, de mériter. Et c'est pourquoi, pour tous ceux qui le connaissaient, et qui tous l'aimaient, Miguel était un grand séducteur. Je crois pour les femmes, mais pour nous tous, il nous séduisait. Miguel est resté un extraordinaire exemple. Un homme libre, mais se dévouant complètement aux autres. Un homme de conviction qui avait choisi un engagement politique fort. Martin Schulz vient de l'évoquer, lui aussi avec cœur et avec humour, mais qui a su toujours rester fidèle à l'étoile qui le guidait, à ses convictions, tout en étant tolérant avec les convictions des autres, défendant ses idées, étant pionnier pour défendre les causes qui lui paraissaient justes, qui étaient les vraies causes, et ensuite participant à l'équipe, dans les cas, ça arrivait souvent, où sa position n'avait pas prévalu. Et c'était pour nous un collègue extraordinaire, parce qu'il défendait une position avec conviction, avec intelligence, avec joie. Parfois il nous convainquait, quand il ne parvenait pas à convaincre, parce que le jeu politique faisait qu'il ne pouvait pas être dans la majorité, il accompagnait malgré tout l'équipe, dans la mesure où il avait le sentiment, ça pouvait parfois ne pas arriver, que nous essayions de défendre l'intérêt général. Il avait choisi, à la commission des budgets, de s'occuper particulièrement du fonds d'aide aux victimes de ce que nous appelons la mondialisation. Et jusqu'au dernier jour, au tout dernier jour de sa vie, c'est lui qui s'occupait des dossiers, c'est lui qui coordonnait l'action des autres groupes. Et il m'est arrivé souvent, et je suis sûr que ça a été la même chose pour beaucoup de nos collègues, d'entendre Miguel, de se dire, évidemment, c'est lui qui a raison. Et puis, la politique étant ce qu'elle est, le manque de courage, parfois, étant ce qu'il est, trop souvent, malgré tout, nous votions selon nos lignes habituelles. Nous avions pour lui un immense respect, et beaucoup plus que cela, une immense affection. Il a été un exemple dans sa vie, et André et Frederico, vous pouvez être très très fiers de votre père. En France, pour un homme de cette qualité, je ne sais pas si ça peut se traduire de la même manière en portugais ou dans d'autres langues. On dit tout simplement « c'était un homme ». De combien d'entre nous pourra-t-on dire cela? Merci Miguel de nous avoir donné ton exemple. Merci Miguel d'être là aujourd'hui. Merci Miguel de continuer à nous aider tout au long de notre propre route. Puissions-nous être dignes de toi. Merci.
First of all, I would like to thank everyone for coming. I would like to thank all the letters and the flowers. All of it was really helpful. As a child, my dad was only dad to me, but the past year, I concluded that he was not a regular father, but a hero. I always trusted him. I knew I could express any of my personal problems. And he was a teacher to me. He taught me how to swim, to play ping pong, volley, to be interested in politics, economics, geography, history, philosophy, to be stubborn, to be late, to talk loud, and I think I have his humor. And for these reasons, almost everything I do, it was him that taught me how to do it. Since I was young, I was always amazed by his past, because for him there was no tomorrow. He could change his life in a few seconds, from a day to another. He organized festivals, he was a politician, newspaper director, a journalist, European deputy, writer, and many other jobs. And in any of these jobs, he was alone. And that's why he was the person that I admired the most. My dad was kind, he was nice, he was the most hardworking person I know, including Marisa. He had a personal interest. He was really cold, he was brave, he was sociable, a sportist. He was strong, he would shine in any situation, really intelligent, he had the best humor, he made utopias come true, and he always concerned about the others. And that's why I'll always try to follow his steps and try to have his virtues. For all of these reasons, the person that I liked the most was him. And for all of these reasons, he was the person that I loved the most. And for all of these reasons, he was the person that I cared the most.
This has been a beautiful ceremony, and I'd like to thank everyone that made it possible. I would like to remember 5 characteristics my father had: the capacity to unify, the free will, the open mind, social awareness, the strength. I think these 5 are really important in these tough days we're going through. Since he was a child, to his death, he had the capacity to gather people for a cause. He would pick up different people and unify them for a single cause immediately, easily. It was, I think we can call it a gift. Not many people did it as he did it. He had the free will. He lived the way he wanted, in a rebel way. And I think there's no more honorable way to live a life than how we want to. He had the open mind, referred by so many people after his death, the capacity to see extremes, not only one side of the story, but both of them. And I think that capacity was his tool for success. He had social awareness, because he knew the sun would never shine to all in the same way, unless the weakest is as strong as the strongest. Nothing lasts, but nothing is lost, neither is he. And as a son, most importantly, I think we shall not forget his smile, his laugh, his happiness, and his will to live. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, I thank the President of the European Parliament for the kind invitation to be here today in this tribute. I think Mr. Schulz's idea was that Miguel Portas was a well-respected and admired member of the European Parliament, and that I am, besides being his brother, currently Minister for Foreign Affairs of Portugal. The country we both served, each one on his own way, stood and fought for. Allow me one personal note to explain the individual dimension of this loss. Miguel was not only my older brother, but also one of my closest and dearest friends. To those who ask and wonder how is it possible that two such different brothers in politics, in ideologies, even in football, to have such an intense and deep complicity like we both did, and the friendship so extraordinary that united us till the very last of his days, I can answer, between Miguel and me, respect brought out the best of our human nature. Tolerance was the key to growing up together, and sense of humor solved the rest. We are a family with many differences, but we are one family. Like many of you, I already do miss our arguments and our laughters, mainly about ourselves. In this tribute, I want to point out three aspects of the way Miguel Portas lived and made politics: the elegance, the cosmopolitanism, and his way of being a rebel with causes. Indeed, Miguel almost always was able to find an interesting person beneath every tough opponent. Indeed, Miguel considered the world outside at least as interesting as the world around him. Indeed, Miguel was a man of strong convictions and a fair amount of doubts. For him to speak out his beliefs was much more relevant than the mere accountancy of wins and losses. obviously, during his life, his thought evolved, which is a sign of intelligence. In his first term in this Parliament, Miguel was head of a delegation of one single member of Parliament. As you can imagine, this meant that Miguel led himself, argued with himself, and followed himself many times. Such a situation needs a respiration. Maybe that is why, or that is one of the reasons why he reinvented his mandate. Writing, searching, traveling, and obviously demonstrating. In 1,000 places and over 1,000 issues in the southern neighborhood of Europe. He was passionately a man from the Mediterranean. He was patiently a man for the Mediterranean. In his last term, he finally was able to build a team and to share responsibilities. In a world devastated by the financial crisis, he chose exactly that committee to fight and scrutinize. He left the memory of someone who studied what he said, who spoke about what he believed. I mean, a reputation of intellectual credibility and robust argumentation. Many of you certainly remember that in the end of each battle, in the end of each tough battle, he stood there with that particular smile. I wanted you to know that the work in this Parliament was a reason for him to live and survive longer during his battle against cancer. It is my duty to thank his colleagues who were touched by this loss, the workers, the assistants, the interpreters, who share our grief, and the multitude of friends, multicultural and multi-party legion of friends he left in the chamber. And the last thing I want to say is that Miguel honored his country and cause. I am very proud to be his brother. Thank you.
Se queremos uma Europa refém dos governos, ou se queremos uma Europa que continua a ser armadilhada pelos interesses do sistema financeiro. A esquerda europeísta está de facto interessada em discutir os recursos próprios. Nós não queremos novos impostos sobre os cidadãos europeus. Mas queremos seguramente discutir o modo de fazer com que seja o capital financeiro a pagar aquilo que não tem pago, a pagar aquilo que deve.
De olhos fincados no rio.
Nós perdemos a oportunidade de fazer desta questão, não uma questão técnica, mas uma questão política central da própria construção europeia.
Chora lágrimas de pedra pelas esquinas.
Sonhamos? Não sonhamos nada. Somos mesmo os únicos realistas deste filme.
Partiu e não volta mais. Lisboa.
Quantas mais vidas irá custar a eleição de Tsipi Livni e Ehud Barak na eleição de fevereiro?
Mãe pobre à beira do rio, seja o cheiro dos meus ombros.
Tudo o resto é manter este imenso negócio nas mãos dos traficantes. É isto que não pode continuar a ser. Se querem proibir alguma coisa, proíbam a guerra.
Mãe pobre à beira do rio,